it's Italian pizza making music.
Previously on Gunslinger's Gateway. Loch, Druzy, Gil, Roots, Nazar, and Moonshadow swept the deserted structure of Seepridge Prison. Well, mostly deserted. Inside, they found Lirin Joe, who told them that many of the escaped prisoners had joined the Beaconeers out of gratitude, and were helping Lord Longfellow look for something down in the mines. Out in the prison yard, the party also found an undead man in the hotbox, one that might somehow be connected to the mysterious sickness Dr. Hayfield was studying. The same sickness that afflicted those blue zombies who attacked the group on their way to Seepridge. What will they discover at the Beaconeers camp? And what exactly is Lord Longfellow looking for in the Seepridge mines?
So, at the moment, you are still in the prison. You're on the first floor. What do you guys want to do?
What time of day is it?
It was like late afternoon, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 or 5.
Because I would want to, because we had talked about waiting until nightfall to, like, scout out the camp.
Yeah.
And I know that Loch wanted to...
I mean, we can scout the camp from, like, a rooftop.
This isn't my area of expertise, I mean. Gilbert, Moonshadow, or Nazar, I think either of the three of you would know how to, scout an enemy encampment better than I am. I'm a doctor, damn it.
Well, doctor, we send in the low-profile individuals during daytime. Look for ways in, look for ways out. At night, we pillage and plunder. I agree. I'm not entirely sure that pillage and plunder is what we're looking for, but it is not. This is what I'm used to. I understand.
Nazar, if we return the town to the people, they'll just give us stuff.
These people don't seem like giving type, but it's okay. We kill and then get out. Who is really for? I just threw the rug on my back. Who is this for? It's classified. I can't, I'm not sure if I can tell you. It's a favor that I owe, someone from Tanby. It's a long story, we'll talk about it later. Alright, let's kill Longfellow! Stop talking about me! I just wish I knew who I'm carrying big, heavy rug for. I'm big man, but this is heavy rug. That's not right. Now you're doing it for me, and I owe you one. This is fine. Thank you. Can I insight check Druzy?
Go ahead.
Huh. Damn, I don't know anything. No. So,
Nazar, you kind of accept it, and you're like, fuck, I'm still going to have to carry this damn heavy rug.
Okay.
I would suggest that perhaps, I know I should probably go in first, because at least someone there might recognize me. Yeah, I'd probably suggest that Well, Nazar, I'd like to bring you along, but I think you're just too conspicuous.
This is fair point. I understand. I'm large, sparkly man. This is often an issue. But if you wish for me to come along, I am happy to assist you.
Because right now, I think the best idea is to scout out, like we said, find out what we're dealing with, and then send a message back to those who aren't in the camp, or wait till nightfall for them to come in and do what we have to do.
I might be able to get a message to them.
Well,
Well,
why
then we
don't...
could try to see if there's a place to tuck away outside of the camp.
I was going to say, maybe we could head in that direction and see if there's a place that... or there's an area close by the camp where you could hide out. Yeah, is there anyone who desperately wants to come along into the camp before nightfall?
I would prefer to know where I'm going, but again, I understand if you do not wish for me to follow this time.
My issue, Moonshadow, I know you want to see everything, but the issue is that, not to be offensive at all, but three of our group, are a little bit more conspicuous than the other three of us are.
I wonder which three she's talking about. I elbow Moonshadow.
I'm good at costumes and disguises, but I'm not quite that good.
Do you have disguise, person?
I have disguise self.
Effectively, I could see bringing Druzy along if you have message and you can send a message to
I can.
The rest of the group. I would say Lochran, but I'm worried that the other prisoners might pick on him.
Get bullied. Oh, no.
I have never gone anywhere where a doctor isn't needed.
Fair.
So who's all going?
I am for sure.
Druzy.
I think, yeah.
I need you to make a history check.
History. Okay. All right. 1 second. 18.
So you recall Seepridge being the prisoner camp for many walks of life, and that you have occasionally seen Dragonborn and Tabaxi and other things, but were prisoners of war sometimes.
Okay.
So you know that it doesn't really matter.
Well, if you want to come along, anyone, I'd probably say the most conspicuous would be Roots. But I suppose if Nazar or Moonshadow, you wanted to come along, I know there's been times when there've been bigger, stranger people on the chain gangs. So if you wanted to come along, I'm sure that could add some muscle or some intimidation to the scouting group.
I am both muscle and intimidation. I will go.
I would suggest
Okay, I will stay.
Yeah, I would suggest that we only bring 3 people along, so as to not seem like a quote-unquote adventuring party.
If Druzy, Gil, and Nazar want to go, I'll stay behind. If Loch wants to bust out his chemistry set and figure out what these weird vials are.
I guess
Before we go, I know we're like approaching the camps right now, but before we actually go in and see anybody, I'm gonna burn a spell slot and do a light disguise self. So like nobody sees me do a magic to look different, and maybe I'm really good at makeup. It's fine.
What do you look like?
Probably just one of the other girls from the saloon in Tanbutte.
Okay.
Just someone who doesn't look like me, but has a similar enough story. Oh, Macy Pope. That was the one who was my neighbor. I found it.
I put on my 10-foot sombrero.
Yeah. Who wants to go first? Group that's staying behind, or group that's scout? The prison is the closest thing, which is still, it's a few miles away, you can tell. It's not like,
Okay.
it's a good 20-minute
30-minute walk, but you can see it from the prison.
Okay, but not enough to like scout, to like watch anything go down.
No, you'd be pretty far away.
Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to know.
So
Then I'm gonna just follow what Loch does.
I'd say our group can start heading out.
okay, who's that? Druzy, Nazar, and Gil. So
Alpha Team Alpha.
Alpha. You guys, the three of you. So you three start to head out, and the rest of you are staying at the prison.
I was gonna walk back towards the town hall.
Message only works 240 feet.
Yes,
So-
that's not going to be what you're going to have to like come back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like setting up base in the town hall would probably make the most sense, just so we're like they know where we are.
Okay. You three will go to the town hall and wait out. And then you three, other three, will be heading towards the camps. The old prison mining camps. You head out, you head north, led by Gilbert, who knows the way very well. And it takes the better part of a half hour or so. And the sun's starting to kind of slip behind the horizon, and it seems quiet, but you can, as you get closer, you can already hear people like working, and there is some chattering happening. And as you get closer, what is different to you, Gil, is that where the old ramp and mouth to the mines are, there is a huge expanse of tents. Just hundreds of tents popped up all around the mouth of the area. Which was not there ever before. There was one guard station and like a mess hall kind of thing, but nothing to this extreme.
It's a lot of tents.
It's a lot of new tents.
So it seems like the entire prison's relocated. Here. So I'd be careful. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
I need to know what your game plan is now. Because right now you're just standing in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Very close to the entrance of this camp.
I think that before we went in, we talked prior to stepping into camp area. Out of game, I feel like it would be wise to go in with the intentions of Gilbert just kind of in town talking to people. Heard the prison got overthrown, just kind of like catching up with people, and that's us getting a chance to scout out before we head back to the others and then come back to destroy.
If I remember correctly, whole conceit for being back at Seepridge Prison in the first place was that he heard there was a change of management, wanted to kind of see what was going on, see if we could find anybody he knew, right? That was what we said to the guy outside town. I feel like sticking with that would make sense, and Nazar and I are just kind of the entourage, and we can just be like perceiving the shit out of everything and like investigating and making mental notes of what we see, how many people there are, weapons, that kind of thing.
All that.
Yeah, if you leave the negotiations and the talking to the prisoners to me, and then you guys can do some snooping around if you want.
And I am always available with an aid on a persuasion.
There you go.
I got 8 on intimidation. Nazar's got a big scary face on the whole time they're inside the camp. Like purposely scary, not just like he's a dragon man scary. Like, don't fuck with me scary.
The three of you start sauntering up, and you're noticing that smoke start coming up. You know there's a couple places from the mines where it comes up every once in a while from the forges in there. But there's another one in the center of where the mess hall and gathering area used to be. And you kind of start weaving, and since you guys don't look really out of place, you kind of are blending into the general populace. and you're weaving in between tents, and you're seeing really rough type of folks, kind of just hooting and hollering, you know, just, there's a general camaraderie there, but you can kind of tell that this is a skeevy bunch of people. Smells a little bit like tobacco and stale piss.
Gross.
And you kind of start walking around, and you get an occasional like glance at you, mostly to Nazar, but it's not really. It's like a look and then kind of a shrug off. As you start counting, it seems that the number of tents are lots of personal tents as you're walking through, and you can hear people yelling about, is it time for supper yet? I don't know, maybe get your ass off the stump and maybe do something about it. And you're seeing that there are like clusters of tents here and there, like where people, obviously either they were cellmates or ran in the same crowds, and they're kind of clumping. There's lots of clicking going on. But you come towards the mouth of the ramp that goes down into the mines, and you can see what used to be the old mess hall for the mines. There are two giant wooden pillars with like quarry stone bases on either side that go kind of mark where the ramp goes down and the beginning of the camp, because they kind of blend in together. Mm-hmm. And you can hear work going on in the mines and see that there are lanterns being lit down there. And to your left, can you take a picture of that small one? You see a big communal fire pit, a mess hall, like a kind of ramshackle mess hall building. It's more like a pavilion sort of thing. And there is a medical pavilion that is blocked off. You see 4 larger tents, kind of like house, like, you know, like old Boy Scout and Girl Scout tents, like the huge ones. Mm-hmm. There's 4 of those, and then there's one big round, like yurt kind of thing. And there aren't as many people in here. There is about 5 people hanging out here, and then there's the general populace eating and milling about for food, and a couple medical people. But it seems calm. So you guys right now are kind of just south of that post of where the 4 pup tents are. That's where you guys are kind of at. And you can see on the other side of the pavilions that there's still more tents.
The first thing I'd like to do is go to the mess hall.
Okay.
That's where the most people are. I have the greater chance of recognizing someone. I'll turn to Druzy and Nazar and say, if you want to do something else, you don't have to stick with me. You can use my name around if you get caught. I doubt that it'll be much of a problem.
Alright, I will stick with you for now, but may break off later.
That's fine.
I will also stick with Gilbert. I think you have a better idea of what's going on here than I would. That's for sure. It's my first time in a mining prison camp. But if Nazar goes somewhere, I'll go with Nazar, because between us, hopefully we can keep from getting in trouble.
Yeah, I'm going to point this more towards Nazar.
All right. Well then, yes, I will make sure that Nazar does not get in.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand what kind of crowds I run with, but
I don't. I've met you probably 2 weeks ago, probably less than that, and I have really no idea what kind of crowds you're on. I get a sense, but you're probably more familiar with enough than I think.
I'm gonna reach into my bag where I have all my wanted posters I've collected of myself, and I hand them to Gilbert, and they say things like murder and one about destroying a holy site, pillaging, burning things down, a lot of burning things down, stealing, killing, all that good stuff. These are the kinds of people I want.
Oh, well, you'll fit right in then. I'll just roll them back up and hand them to you.
I'll take them and tuck them back in, and I laugh.
Alright, so on to the dining hall.
Easy enough. As you guys kind of hit this area, you can see that there's a long line that kind of snakes out of the pavilion and through, like, the tables and shit. And a lot of people are eating off of, like, metal plates that are just kind of with mostly beans and like, some cornbread and, like, a bit of brisket or something, as you can hit those smells, which is kind of odd because you remember this just being, like, refried beans and, like, a tortilla and just the worst cuts of meat that were probably just way past due. So coming into this place has kind of a weird sense of nostalgia, but it's different to have, like, a nice smell associated with it. And sure enough, like, pretty much all of the long tables in there and stuff are taken. Lots of people have just come and just grabbing food and leaving as well. And would you like to make a perception check?
Sure.
Because you don't know.
That's an 8.
There's a lot of people milling about, and you're kind of overstimulated by what being back in this element. But as you just kind of stand around getting hit with this feeling, Druzy, you notice that there is a man sitting at a table just kind of eyeing you up and down in a flirtatious kind of way.
So, like, in a way that I'm familiar with.
Yes.
Okay. I don't recognize this man at all, do I?
Mm-mm. No.
Cool.
And he get like a little sharp. Hey! Good looking.
Nazar's gonna step in front of Druzy, not giving this man any kind of attention at all. But just, like, step so that he's covering her.
Is that your, bodyguard?
How far away is this guy from me?
He's only about 10 feet away. He's, like, on the other side of a table.
Do I notice this?
Yeah, he's not being real. He's hooting and hollering.
I'll turn to give him a look. Just to see him.
You recognize him.
Oh. Who is it?
You know him. He is the right hand of, Josie Flint.
Huh.
No.
A very infamous bandit. This is, his name's Deadeye Nick. And he's got Deadeye because his one eye is bloodshot red. And presumably lacks depth perception, even though he's a good shot. Say it again! Is he your bodyguard? You too highfalutin to be with people like us?
I'm gonna, like, step forward and just kind of, like, cross my arms and say, "Why, Nick? It's been quite a long time since I've laid my 2 eyes on you."
Oh, fuck you, Gilbert.
I'm Druzy's bodyguard, but Gilbert is Nazar's bodyguard.
Basically, yes.
I'm sorry, it's just, we don't get many good-looking ladies out here. It's been a while.
Yeah, been a blessing to have one on my journeys and goings.
I bet. Especially one as fine as her. What the hell brings you guys here? And he kind of motions for people to leave the table, and he's like, "Come on, take a seat."
I'll mosey on over.
follow, but I don't sit down. I'll stand behind Gilbert if he chooses.
I will sit.
So, what brings it back to Seepridge Prison? Oh, I mean Camp Longfellow. Pardon me.
Is that what it is now?
Yep.
Well,
Prisoner's Paradise.
I'm gonna take out a bottle, some glasses, and put on. Yeah, I heard that's what it was. Prisoner's Paradise.
Yeah.
How is the new order under Lord Longfellow?
Well, I can't complain much. Bust us all out of prison. Killed Warden Giles. His promised and delivered on a fair share of money for everybody. All so long as we run with the pack. It's a pretty good life. He's pretty good man. If a bit odd, I might say, but whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that the camp was doing a lot better than the last time I've been here.
Yep. It's pretty good. He's got us working down in the mines every once in a while, but more often than not, we're just do the legwork up on the surface, keep people out of town, keep Seepridge under his thumb.
Yeah, where's he been all this time? Did you just come out of the woodwork, or did you just appear one day and say, you know what, I'm here, or was he a prisoner after I left?
I don't know. We just heard on the rumor mill that one day there was something big coming on the horizon and that we should all be ready. Some new prisoner had just started that, and he was saying that this Lord Longfellow this, Lord Longfellow that, he'd come in and he'd be our savior. Sure enough, he fucking was. At first we thought he was just a pipsqueak just going, man. But he ends up being one of his men.
Heard he was one of them Beaconeers.
I don't know much about that. I don't really care either.
Yeah, me neither. Didn't really. Not the reason I came back, really.
Yeah, what would bring your sorry ass back to Seepridge? Had I been broken out before this, I'd never come back.
Yeah, like I said, we've at least I've been curious to hear. We got booted out of Tam Butte a while ago.
What for?
Turns out one of the mayor there now rigged the election.
Assenwell?
Yeah.
Yeah, he rigged the election?
Yeah, surprise, surprise. He rigged the election, found out we had, well, some of us have been snooping around. I wasn't the only one kicked out. We also found out that there was some magic dealings going on there. Didn't take too kindly to that.
There's magic dealings everywhere. You just gotta look hard enough.
I'm just gonna look at the table and just be like, inwardly be like, yeah, what the fuck's with that?
Well, time to step out of the sheltered life, my friend. I'm sure so long as you don't cause any trouble, you're more than welcome to stay. I'm sure. Maybe go talk to Xander or Tails.
Sure. Where is the Lord Longfellow now?
I don't know, maybe in his tent? Probably.
I assume it's not open to everyone.
No. You have to be the main four of them.
Who's them?
Make a persuasion check.
Sure.
I am proficient in persuasion.
You are doing nothing, though, right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, that's an 11.
I'm just kind of standing back there.
Yep. If you were doing something to help, I'd say yes, but
You can stick your leggy out.
I don't know if It's good to have you back, Gail. Enjoy what you can of the prisoner's paradise. And he kind of nods, tips his hat a little bit, and leaves.
I'm gonna turn to Nazar and Druzy. I want to know who these 4 are. I want to know if I know any of them. But I have another question that's been itching at my mind. Why would prisoners willingly go back to work in the mines after they've been liberated? And why would Longfellow have them do it?
We learned from Felicity before we left the actual town that the civilians are the ones who are working in the mines. And that they're in the mines because Longfellow wants something that he's looking for in the mines. But I think that's as much as we heard from her.
And
He wants the stone.
I think he wants a stone. Druzy, I don't want to exploit your talents. But I think some of the people here might respond better and suggest more information if you were the one asking the question.
Gilbert, what would you like me to ask?
Well, for starters, I'd like to know how... Well, that's a good question. I'd like to know who the 4 are.
And if there's some reason beyond the payment that Longfellow is giving the prisoners for staying, if there's some reason other than that they're here still, after the prison break.
Good idea.
Alright. I'm just a prostitute. I'm not entirely stupid. I just am not sure what's going to get me kidnapped.
They won't kidnap you here.
Kidnapped.
I don't.
No,
I would not feel safe going off to any of their tents. So if you see that starting to happen, please intervene.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't break arm. He's fine.
All right.
Yeah, I won't let that happen.
Okay. So the right leg is the thigh holster for the pistol, right? That's the business leg. We're gonna hitch up the left side of the skirt a little bit. Not so far as in the brothel, but like a little bit, just a little tasteful bit of calf,
Ooh, calf.
right? Not even to the ankle, just calf.
All right.
Love.
What are you guys doing?
I'd like to... Well, Druzy does the subtle approach. I'd like to just try to head on to the big tent.
Oh, to...
Lord Longfellow's tent.
Are we splitting ways then? Is that what you're saying?
Nazar, you can choose whichever way you'd like to go.
I will not leave the lady. She will get kidnapped.
That is what well, there's nowhere to kidnap her to. This is probably where they'll stay, because there's no government that rules them. But
This is true.
I appreciate your manners for the betterment of women's safety. I'm going to the big tent.
big tent?
I'm going to, like, the biggest tent there is.
So the yurt kind of thing. Are you waiting for a distraction, or are you just heading right in?
I want to... Is there anyone guarding the front of it?
Yes.
I'd like to talk to them.
Okay. So you're gonna go here, and you're gonna talk to somebody. Nazar and Druzy, where are you guys wanting to go? Or who are you looking for?
Well, who else is just kind of sitting around the mess hall area?
There's several, like a handful of people. Just
Anybody sitting alone?
no, not really.
Anyone sitting in twos?
You see a group of 2, and they're
Okay.
two tabaxi.
I'm gonna elbow Druzy and then kind of nod my head that way. Like, you take the lead, but I think that would be a good start. A small group of 2.
Okay. Then I guess we'll just go to the tabaxi.
But wait, also, should we try to find humans for the sex appeal?
Holy shit. Isn't Nazar the pimp?
Okay, so would I need to roll a perception check to see if anybody was paying particular attention now that there is exposed calf?
Yeah, roll it.
Nazar's a fucking pimp.
Is that like as an investigation or perception?
Perception.
Good. I'm so much better at that. It's a 16.
There's a few eyes that have kind of been like, oh yeah. There's one person that seems to be a little bit more interested than others, and she's sitting in a chair towards the front of one of the tables, and she's got like a long duster, but it's sleeveless duster, and she's got tattoos on her arms, and she's wearing a dark brown cowboy hat.
Damn. She sounds fine.
We're already in love.
I mean, would we need to roll something to see if the tattoos were of any sort of relevance that we recognize? Because, like, we've seen a couple people with tattoos that, like, the Wolf's Den tattoo, there's the tattoos. I think the bandits had tattoos. No, they just had patches.
They had patches. You can see that there seems to be a couple of ones that you can see, because they're mostly, like, on her upper forearm, or, oh my god, what's this called? Bicep. Thank you. And you can only see parts of them. There's one that's more prominent than the others, and it's on her left shoulder, and it's of a lantern. A lit lantern. But you have seemed to catch this woman's attention fully.
Okay. So in response to Nazar's question, I'm just gonna kind of nod at the cowboy lady.
And she nods back.
Okay, and then I'll go walk over there, talk to the cowboy lady.
I'm gonna follow.
And you
All
can
right.
Wait, time out.
Yeah.
Do I see any dragonborn?
Make a perception check.
Okay. We're hard to miss, though. Fuck. 9.
No, the only people that
No,
kind of
wait, I lied. I'm good at perception. 11, which is still bad.
the only people that seem to be exotic or foreign are the tabaxi, the occasional half-elf, but it's mostly humans and half-orcs. As you approach, she has one, like, cowboy boot leg up onto a bench, but she's still sitting in her chair, and she looks at you, and she just smiles at you. What's a pretty little thing like you doing out here in the wastelands?
I am here with a friend.
And she kind of looks over Nazar and goes, "Run with a rough crowd, do we?"
Girl's gotta do what she's gotta do sometimes.
And she extends her hand out to you.
Like to shake, or like not to shake?
More of, like, trying to coax you in a little bit closer.
Is there a bench that I can put my leg up on?
It is very clear she's offering one of her legs for you to sit on.
Yeah, I don't... My question is there a bench or a chair or a place for me to put my foot up of the leg that is exposed?
Right, the one the bench that she has her foot on.
Ooh. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Spicy.
Because the whole ass leg is out.
I have not seen you here before. What are you doing?
I just said I'm in town with a friend.
You're in town
Just
with
got
a
here
friend.
today.
I see. But I find that a little odd. Come on all out to a prison camp with some friends. You just catching up for a good time, or are you looking for a fun time?
Well, you see, he's here to catch up with some friends. I'm just the arm candy.
Lucky person. And she kind of sits back and she goes, "What's your name, doll?"
Druzy, what's yours?
"My name's Liz."
It's nice to meet you, Liz.
It's nice to meet you too, Druzy.
I like your tattoos.
Thank you. I can't help but hear a slight accent of yours. Do you happen to be from Serenity Falls?
Originally, yes, though I haven't been back there in a very long time. I maintain the accent mostly for exotic purposes.
That's fine. I mean, it wouldn't be past my brain, wouldn't pass my head that I would dream of being with a fancy folk girl.
Fancy's putting it a bit strong, but thank you.
Are you, just teasing, or are you gonna be turning some tricks out here?
Well, it all depends on if I can get what I'm looking for, which, in this particular moment, is information.
I like the way you wheel and deal, girl. What kind of information are you looking for?
I'm just gonna lean on my exposed knee.
To the group.
I've heard of this. Is it Longfellow? Who's in charge here?
That's Lord Balthazar Longfellow.
Goddamn.
You might know him from Serenity yourself.
I do recognize the family name.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard there's a big four, and since I recognize Longfellow, I just was curious if perhaps I would know who the other three were as well. Catch up with some old friends from the old days.
The Big Four, huh? Well, I'm one of the Big Four.
Really? You're not from Serenity.
Not all of us are.
Well then, there goes my theory. It's nice to meet you, member of the Big Four. I really wasn't sure what they were referring to when they said Big Four, so I figured I would ask somebody from the area who might know.
It's really three. Then there's Queen, and then there's the Lord. That's the hierarchy of this place. So, I mean, what better way to kind of move up the ranks is with one of the big ones. If you're catching my drift.
Nazar, you're still right behind me, right?
Oh, I'm just chilling.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Yeah, you said you don't want to go anywhere with anybody, so I'm not gonna let that happen.
Well, thank
Unless
you.
you tell me not to, you're not going anywhere.
Is that all you wanted to know? And she kind of leans forward and touches your leg a little bit. But, lower on the leg, not higher up.
Okay, because the last time somebody touched my leg, I was charmed, and I feel like that would trigger something that makes me uncomfortable more so than usual. I did have one more question.
Yeah?
So the people who are staying here in these tents are previous inhabitants of the prison, correct?
Some are. Less than, I'd say, less than a fourth of them. Most of the people that we freed helped get the town reordered and then scampered off to the winds.
Well, I would assume that most people, when faced with freedom from incarceration, would probably disappear into the desert. So why did these people stay?
Same reason the rest of us stay. Believed in the mission. Enjoyed the coin. Had limitless possibilities open up before them.
What? No, a mission that's an idea, that's an abstract idea I can get behind.
As she says that last thing, she stands up and is kind of, still has her one foot on the thing, which is now touching your foot.
Right, so we're real close.
Yeah, you're real close right now, and she's a bit taller than you.
How tall is she?
Druzy, how tall are you?
5'8", I think.
She's even 5. No, she's just under 6 foot. She's a tall woman.
She's like as tall as I actually am in real life.
Yes.
Okay. So what sort of mission? That sounds terribly exciting.
No.
Honestly, a bit more motivating than the coin for some people, I'm sure.
For some of us, yeah. I'm sure you are very familiar with the gateway to the great beyond being opened. The church likes to push on others that only a select few can enter it, and the rest of us are just going to be left to fend for ourselves. Longfellow, us, his compatriots, and those who truly believe in the mission believe that the power comes from within oneself. That you can open the gateway in your own way. And she raises her hand to your cheek, and she, like, with the back of her hand, kind of just pushes your hair away, and it just, like, very close to you. Now, you want to know all of this, but what about payment for that information? Because I'm willing to share more with you.
Where's her hand right now? On my face?
Yeah, it's on your cheek, like right here.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab her hand, like grab like her wrist, you know, not in like a menacing way.
Oh, I know.
Gently. Okay. And then and I'm gonna kiss the inside of her wrist. And then I'm gonna say, thank you very much for all the information, Liz, and for all of your help. I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket, but maybe later. And then I kiss her on the mouth and I walk away.
And you swear for a second she turns beet red, and she just kind of stands there for a moment. You can hear a couple of guys like wolf whistle at you, and you walk away with that information. Abby, I'm gonna give you a point of inspiration for that.
Oh.
Thank you. That was. I think I'm shaking. I'm fine. It's fine. I brought a t-shirt. I'm gonna go change. I'm very warm right now.
Hey, I'm sweating too. Don't worry. It's like. Okay, Gilbert.
Hi-oh.
God. Okay.
Actually, I'll get to you in a second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut back to the town hall. What are y'all doing at the town hall? It is past sunset now.
Well, I know Loch was going to, like, as soon as we got back, is just going full Walter White and just, like, getting out his alchemy supplies and figuring out, like, what's going on with these. But I think last week, I think we actually did that.
Yeah.
And rolled through that. So I used, that it's some sort of vaccine. It's
no.
like,
you can gather that it might be a vaccine, but you don't know at what stage of the process it is.
Yeah, or like it's on its way to be. So it's not like usable.
It could be.
I think there would be more. If we could, read the doctor's notes, that would be great. But we don't have those tools yet. Kind of like after, I've done my, like, tinkering, I figured out what it is. And I would have told that to Moonshadow and Roots, like, it's some sort of vaccine for a disease that I don't know. So don't drink this. As we're kind of sitting around waiting for everyone else to get back, he's probably, like, cleaning the sheriff's gun. Because it's, like, been sitting in old, so just kind of, like...
Covered in blood, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, like, cleaning it off. And asking Moonshadow, so Moonshadow, we haven't really had any time to talk about that incident on the river. Are things well in Empta? He seemed to intimate that there was some sort of unrest.
As far as I can tell, everything is fine there.
Well, I guess the further question would be, what, other than going on a walkabout, how does a princess of Empta end up on a journey with a dragon mat-born pirate?
Yeah. So I was, in order to become the next ruler, my parents told me that I needed to go out and make friends or allies because we've been very closed off from the rest of society. But yeah, so they told me on my birthday I needed to leave, so I did. I happened to find Nazar along the way, and we headed south.
So it was out of the blue on your birthday they told you needed to get out of the city and gather allies? Or was this something that you knew was going to happen?
I knew it was going to happen. During my training and everything, because they start training us when we're very young to take over. So, yeah.
Perfect combination.
That makes sense. And Roots, what's your whole deal?
What's your fucking deal, you moth?
All I know is that you have a pigsty of an apartment and a small boy who appears out of nowhere.
Well, I have no partner. That's Robin. He's been my protege for probably about a few years now. He brings me socks when I need them. But
yes, you derive nutrition from the socks.
It's not exactly nutrition, my friend. These socks, they all the itches that I get when I don't eat socks.
So you're chemically dependent on cotton socks.
Like a fancy word for saying I really love socks, my friend.
I mean this in the least creepy way possible, but I would love to just cut you open and see what the fuck.
I don't quite like the way you said that. And then Ruth slid to the other corner of the room.
Just an old man polishing a gun, saying he wants to cut you open. What's weird about that? I don't know. I guess Loch is just having a lot of fun learning about other cultures.
Loch learns culture.
So
Loch learns international
how
relations.
does an Illuminaria come to this far south? You usually keep to the nests.
Quite frankly, friend, I'm searching for a specific kind of mage. You see, when I was a young boy, my parents were murdered, and all I can remember is the most beautiful green flame I've ever seen in my life. Now I'm searching for a mage who can cast that beautiful green flame, so I can take some vengeance.
Great Gatsby.
I'll take it. I love the Great Gatsby.
I also want to put out there, this is Moonshadow's first time in the town hall. She will have opened every single room, done a toss over of everything.
Okay. You find the dead body
Oh, right.
That was
the other thing I wanted to do. Like, give the get the body of the sheriff out behind the town hall. Just kind of give him a
burial.
Like a real burial.
Okay. That'll take a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Gilbert, we're coming back to you.
Howdy.
Howdy. As whatever is happening with Druzy and Nazar is happening, you seem to not give a shit about anything and saunter right up to the big tent.
Yes, sir.
And you see a younger human man, blonde, ashy blonde hair, and very strong looking. He has a couple of guns on him, and he also has some daggers and stuff on his hips. And he got some light scarring on his cheeks and stuff. And he's standing guard. Hold up. What are you doing here?
I was an old inmate back in the day. I came in here to see what's going on. Heard there's some new leadership.
Alright. There is, but what's your name?
Shotgun. Sullivan.
Got a couple Sullivans to come in here.
Gilbert.
He kind of thinks for a moment. Okay, Gilbert. Welcome back, I guess.
What's your name? I extend my hand.
Xander Clean.
Xander Clean. What, heard some good things. I see there's some good change around here after Lord Longfellow broke you all out.
Not all of us.
He didn't break you all out, or?
Not that I've been with him since the beginning. Or since I could be. Which was near the beginning.
Sure.
But I can't permit you to enter this tent. You must leave the area at once.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to old ways. I'm used to, we got a desire to speak with the one in charge in the prison. We used to go up to their cell and just offer something to trade.
What do you have to trade?
And I say, well, Xander, it makes sense now why you don't recognize me right away. I used to be known around these parts as sort of a town drunk. And the one who beat up the old mayor of Tambu. And frankly, first and foremost, I'd like to offer my congratulations to Lord Longfellow. And with that, a drink, as is customary for me.
I will kindly inform him of this notice.
Sure. Well, perhaps you'd also be interested in, had a little tidbit of information about the government of Tambu.
What is it?
Well, I think it's a bit sensitive.
I know you're trying to fleece me, and I don't appreciate it. I'm not as dumb as people might think as a right hand to be.
To be?
No, I am the right hand. That does not make me dumb.
I never implied that you were dumb, nor did I hear you were.
Any information that goes to Balthazar passes through me first.
Is there any information you've got about a certain thing you're digging for?
What do you mean?
We recently just came from Fairbrook, after we were repelled from Tambu. Had a little talk with some of the druids over there. Got some information about some magic rocks. Big stones of the gods. Mayhaps I have some information about that I think Lord Balthazar would like to hear.
Is it just you?
Just me here.
And he enters the tent. And he's gone for a few minutes. About 5 minutes or so passes by. And he comes back out. Lord Longfellow will see you later this evening.
Thank you very much, Xander. Care for a drink?
I will leave it till the conversation we have together.
Absolutely. I raise up the bottle and say, till then. I'll walk away.
Okay. You walk away. Damn. Fucking scouting mission for the...
Hey, shit, done. Alpha team, Alpha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I would say that you guys kind of meet back up, like the three of you meet back up around that time. That takes that. So, what do you three want to do as you kind of reconvene?
I want to look for more ways in and out. Like on the map is the back. Where's my phone? I don't know. The back where the 4 tents are.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a ledge or like a mountain or is that like free land?
It's free land, but there is like a lower fence, like a fence that goes around this, because this is where like the old prison part of camp used to be. So there is there is a fence around that immediate area. So around those 4 tents, going to the mess hall and behind Balthazar's tent, that's all walled in. There's only one.
How high is the fence?
About 10 foot. It's logs though, with barbed wire on the top. But there's that big entrance that there's the trail that you guys came up through, like because you can run through the tents. Basically, they're kind of sprawled out. So there's just this walled in area. And then everything else is tents and sprawled outness, and then down into the mine. So you do have, for the majority of it, free land to run wherever. Just that the hub of camp is walled in.
I guess, do we want to talk to more people, or do we want to leave, or what do we want to do?
I am set. I kind of got what I wanted.
As soon as I see Gilbert, like, as we're coming from our respective places, I'm going to come up to him and kind of in a hushed whisper say, Gilbert, do you know anyone named Liz?
Do I?
No.
Not familiar.
Okay, because I just kissed a cowboy named Liz.
Really?
Yeah, it's a long story, but I know so much now.
Well, great. I also have a meeting with the Lord later tonight.
Do we want to confirm the location of all of the townspeople from Seepridge before we leave?
Like to check to see if they're in the mines?
Right, because Felicity told us that they were the ones who were working in the mines, but my recent information from this person called Liz indicates that only about a quarter of the prisoners from Seepridge Prison actually stuck around, and that seems like not everybody who's here in this camp is a prisoner or an ex-prisoner. My apologies. There's some sort of other thing going on here where they have a mission that they all believe in, and it's something to do with a gateway to the great beyond, and it's quite a lot.
Weren't there... didn't we hear rumor that Lord Longfellow was with the Beaconeers?
We did.
So maybe we could link this sort of great beyond conspiracy thing to the Beaconeers?
I think we could.
We'll have to ask Loch when we get back.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should. But yes, I would like to at least confirm that the ones in the mine are the townspeople who are cooperating, and
the ones that are in the camp are the Beaconeers. That one I'm pretty certain of, but let's just double check that we know who's where and who everyone is, and then let's head back to town.
Could be a good idea. They might have some information that could be helpful.
I agree. Let's do it.
All right.
So you guys head towards the mine.
So Al, just on the map,
Yep.
that's Dungeon East.
Dungeon North
Yeah.
is marked on the map.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to figure out where because like there's arrows that say to Seepridge to the prison.
Yeah.
I just don't know which of these road things is the ramp to the mine.
It's I had it's shorter on the map, but if you go east on the map, it's that tunnely looking thing.
Okay, with all the lines on it.
Yeah, and then it's much longer. I just don't have a lot of space on my thing, so I had to make it smaller.
Gotcha.
Are the lines indicating like a level or?
Yeah, the walkway that you're going down is lower. You're going down
So
into
we're
the
going
earth.
down.
Yeah, you're going into
So-
the earth now.
Into the loamy earth.
So the camp is higher up. So like you're heading down like this, and there's like a ridge around the mouth of the tunnel, and there are like tracks coming in and out. Mine tracks.
Okay.
Mine cart
Um,
tracks.
Are we seeing like patrols or anything down here? Like people
There are-
who are
There are a couple of people standing at the front, at the mouth of the mines. You can hear stuff happening in the mine. There's just two kind of thuggy looking men. One's a half orc and the other one's a dragonborn.
What color is he?
Red.
Wow.
I just got very happy.
I'm at the head, and I'm just gonna incline my head, and I'm gonna say, "Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'm an I've been incarcerated at the old Seepridge Prison for a while ago now. I noticed that things have gone for the better since Lord Longfellow's been here. I was interested to check out the mines.
Mines are closed.
Particular reason, or just
Closed to public viewing.
well, I wouldn't
Who's
consider.
speaking?
The red dragonborn.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider myself public. Most of the public kind of shuns me away after I left prison.
Like most of us, yeah. No access granted.
Shit.
In Draconic, I say, come on now, it can't be so much trouble for a man who is looking for, old friends to come down and look. If it's important for us two to stay up here, we can stay and let him go. He's looking for someone in particular. I don't know the specifics. I am just here to follow along.
Yeah. And he speaks back in Draconic. And he's just like, I don't understand why he wants to see down there. No one, unless he was from Seepridge, there is nothing for him down here.
I laugh and say, I can't understand what these people want half the time either, but I think it's harmless nonetheless. And I chuckle again.
I agree, but orders are orders.
Is there someone we can talk to grant him access?
Perhaps, Commander Clean or the Lord Balthazar. But I cannot allow entrance into this.
This is fine. Thank you. And in common, I say, all right, let's go.
What?
And I nod my head.
He nods back.
I kind of turned to his eyes like, What? What was that?
Let's go. We're leaving.
Well, we didn't go down in the mines like I...
It is fine, we are leaving. Let the men do their work. We are going. And I start walking, and I usher Druzy with me.
Nazar, we really do need to see if we can find Silas.
The man says we are not to go down, and we need permission. We will not bother them with our
I'm gonna turn
trivial pursuit.
to the
So
dragon.
all of a sudden rules are important to you now?
Rules are important to some of us, and I think that if we are respecting the rules that are set in place by these Lord Nazar, we must respect them. Gilbert is to talk to him later. Maybe perhaps we go and
I'm
ask
gonna,
someone for permission.
as a sort of last gesture, I'm gonna say I talked to Xander Clean. I have a meeting with Lord Longfellow tonight. I have information as to what you may be digging for.
This not my problem.
Oh my god.
You must
This is
bring.
not his problem. We'll leave him
You
alone.
must bring Commander Clean or one of the others with you. Don't try to undermine my status. And he kind of makes a gesture with his hands. But you don't. It seems just like a.
Yeah.
Like that. Nazar, you know it to be a very kind of. What few Dragonborns you've been accompanied with. You know that's a foul hand gesture.
I chuckle again, and I say, let's go.
Grumble and march with a darkened mood.
Once we are up and away, we're back, like, I guess, in sort of common area where we can talk privately. I'll say, if we are going to keep our cover, a low profile, as you say, we must respect the boundaries put in place. He says you need permission from a higher up. We cannot just go in. We need to get permission. There's not an amount of persuading we can do to them for them to let us down. You said you talked to these other men before. At least the other one, the not so important one. Perhaps you can go and ask him for access. Say that you are killing time. This is another turn of phrase I have learned. Killing time while you are waiting for your meeting this evening. No?
Not a bad idea.
Seems smart to me.
Perhaps. I mean, I can hang around here if you want, if you two want to head back to collect the others.
What time is it?
It's probably about 6. Druzy and Nazar will head back into town to collect the others. Gilbert, you'll know about the general populace.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Xander.
Okay. Nazar and Druzy made it back to Seepridge.
Okay.
And go back to rendezvous at the town hall, whereupon you kind of come back, see a lantern light behind the town hall, and see Lochran burying a body.
Oh my god.
We can't see the body, can we? Like, we can't distinguish what it is.
No, you just see him digging behind the town hall at the moment.
You just shout it, like, before we get there.
Where did you kill?
I didn't get well.
You can tell us if you can, John. What?
I haven't killed anyone today. This is
I'm too far away. I cannot hear you. And I walk closer. What?
This is the town sheriff seems to have assume when the town fell, he took his own life in his office in the town hall. So I'm giving him something resembling a proper burial.
I chuckle. Is that the story we're going with?
It's
okay that you killed somebody. It's okay, Lochran. It happens.
No,
You are the bigger man to have buried him here out of respect, but I understand that sometimes we kill people. It's okay.
Nazar, this one was actually already dead. I saw him. He smelled. There were flies. That he was dead before we got here.
I'm now bored and I go find Moonshadow.
I don't know if there's another shovel, but like,
Just like
I
kind of
use
like
my hands, I guess.
You successfully bury the body of the town sheriff.
and then I go back inside where Roots and Moonshadow are.
While Loch was burying the body, I wanted to look at my jar of snails, my big ass jar of snails that I took a while back, and like try and start to sort them into different categories.
Make a nature check.
19.
So you manage to start making piles. You can see that the majority of them are just like commonplace snails. So far, you've only pulled out about 5 of these special snails, or the special snail. You don't really know the name of them. You just know that they're like, oh, I feel good after I eat them. So you manage to sort them out, but only find like a handful of actually good ones.
Now I have 10.
So what are y'all doing?
After I do that, I was just gonna take out the gun that I had and start fiddling with it.
You quickly learn that, what did I say, this was a pistol?
I think it's a revolver that I picked off of
Okay.
shooting at us.
Yeah, so you quickly find out it's got only 3 or 2 shots left
Okay.
in it. It's pretty light. It seems really easy to hold in your hand. You're not used to having firearms. So
No, I'm not.
So you're just kind of like, how does a claw go about? And you figure it out, and like, you get it in your hand, and you're like, okay. And you kind of like point it around, you point it at Roots for a little bit, not knowing gun safety, you know? Roots doesn't know it well either, so you guys are just kind of like 2 children with a loaded gun.
Jesus.
Very
Do I walk in on this?
Huh? Yeah.
Do I walk in on this?
Yes.
Put that down.
It's mine. I found it.
We just have pointed at our allies. Put that down.
Okay.
This is dangerous. It is a very painful. This would be bad if you hit someone you do not intend to hit.
Okay.
Okay? This have you not used one? Did he do something to upset you? Is this why you pointed him?
No. No, I
Did you do something to upset her? I turned to Roots. Did you do something to upset her? You better apologize. This is not.
I've just been sitting here eating my socks. I'm not doing anything to upset anybody.
Is this true? I turned to Moonshadow. Is this true?
Hey, Roots.
Okay.
Roots. You're down to your last 2 socks, just FYI.
Al, I have a sigil from the bandits that attacked us when we were with the druids
Yeah.
that I took off of their butt. I want to put that on my boot, like, to display.
Okay. With some time, and as you've been sitting there kind of dawdling, waiting to get news, you manage to kind of somehow attach it with pins or something like that.
Yeah.
It'll do for now. It might fall off at some point. Are you guys still gonna hunker down here, or are you heading back to the camp?
Well,
What time is it?
while I'm helping Lochran finish burying that body out back, I'm gonna tell him what I learned from Liz about the gateway to the great beyond, and ask if that or the lantern tattoo have anything to do with the Beaconeers.
Make a history check for me.
Oh, then I'm proficient in that. Should I make that one?
Sure. Well, one of you make religion, one of you make history.
I got a nat 20 on my religion check. That's a total of 24.
Okay, Druzy.
I got a 9 on my history check.
You don't know much about them. They seem pretty new. But, Loch, you kind of recalling looking at the call board and hearing, the call board in town, for the job board in town, and hearing Druzy talk, you recognize that iconography as what was rumored to be part of the Beaconeers, or the symbol for the Beaconeers. You also know, through the rumor mill and what have you, that it's not necessarily a religious group. It's more of a science and philosophical group that takes actions into their own hands. And they're well known for creating hubbub, and oftentimes, when they first started out, they kind of masqueraded as an offshoot of the Quell, but soon took to more violent tendencies in overtaking places and trying to collect converts a little bit, and they're more of a magical terrorist group, it seems like.
I was well out of the Quell when the Beaconeers first showed up. They're a little culty, but they seem to mean well for some people.
They're not awful.
That is...
Because I definitely kiss fun. They believe in what they're doing, and they tend not to care about the lives that might need to be lost to achieve their specific goals. And then as part, what I know, so they said they presented themselves as an offshoot of the Quell. Is that true, or is that just a lie? Was it did they break off, or are they just saying that because it's a name people trust?
No, they were originally, but then they started taking things way too far, and the Quell denounced them, officially denounced them to the continent, and said that they are where they will admit that they did come from Quell roots. They are not affiliated with the Quell anymore, because the Quell would be first do no harm.
Once we're done with that, I would ask her, or when we would go inside and ask Nazar, it's so are we going? Where's Gilbert?
He is about to have a meeting with the Lord. Prior to meeting, he is attempting to seek out people in the mines.
So if he can manage to gain access to the mine, he will take a look around for Silas while he's down there.
I know Silas wanted to join the Beaconeers. It sounds like if only a quarter of the prisoners stayed, that Silas might have been one of the people in the camp. He's not a prisoner. He's aiding in terrorizing this town.
I'll investigate further when we're back.
His halfling friend was a little shit too, so I wouldn't be surprised.
So the plan is, while Gilbert is having his meeting, we will get the jump on them.
We can look around for Silas in camp once we return. I'm sure there will be people wandering around, the workday will have ended, etc. But we're just waiting for it to get to be nightfall.
Because so many people seem to respect this Lord Man, I am under the impression that we should try to get in and get out. Kill the man quickly, quietly.
Oh God, we're assassinating him, aren't we?
This is exactly what we're doing. And then we'll put his body up there and by the nooses, take the little body down, and we will leave.
I know Gilbert is pretty dead set on killing this man, but we don't have to kill him. If we can.
Nazar kind of raises his hand. Dead set. This is joke or is this turn of phrase?
It's an accidental joke.
It's a yes. No pun intended.
Well, if Gilbert think it's important to kill this man, he is more familiar with these people around here than we are. If this is how it must be, this is how it must be.
I don't know how well equipped we are to fight off in a camp full of, I'll say it, criminals.
This is why we get out quiet. This is nighttime when people are sleeping. This is why we attack at night. If we want to fight everyone, we would attack during the day.
This is your world, this is yours and Gilbert's world, not mine. I'll take your word for it.
Did you guys have to use the phrase yet when talking to these Beaconeers?
With this phrase.
When the crow flies at night?
Opportunity hasn't really come up.
Okay. That might be something that we can use to get close to the Lord. If we want to.
If we could draw Lord out of camp, this would be smart. Kill him outside of circle of allies.
I have a feeling he doesn't often leave without an entourage.
Oh, perhaps, Druzy, you could convince this Liz to send him out of camp.
Nazar, I'm afraid that a favor of that magnitude would take a little bit more commitment and effort out of me than I think we have the time for right now. But it is an option.
He shrugs.
Could you make someone look like him, though? Like if we got into his tent and killed him in his tent, and then we make it look like he left?
If his body is gone, they think he left.
I mean, in theory. Again, I'm good with costumes. I'm not sure I'm quite that good.
It is an option. Okay, so we go to the camps, yes?
So, about 30 to 40, about 30 minutes, you guys manage to make it to the outskirts of the camp, passing the prison. You see the plethora of tents. You see more campfires and smoke going up into the sky. And it's a clear sky night. The moon shining real bright. And there's people milling about, but it looks like people are in their clusters of tents.
Okay.
As before. Less people, there's not as many people in the mess hall area or in that main circle. Gil, you're waiting with a handful of people at the mess pavilion. And just kind of keeping an eye out in the area. Where you happen to see Nazar stomping through with a couple of other people with your gang in tow.
I don't stop, I trot.
I'll break away and head towards them.
So you all reconvene, I'm assuming, just outside the main camp halls.
Now that we're here, I'm going to go ask Xander when exactly our meeting's going to be. I'm not sure how well it'll go, but it'll probably give us some answers. I told them that I was alone.
Okay.
So, but if
Are we going to now or later, or what is the plan?
I'm gonna put a momentary stop on the killing. That plan. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. Let me get a size up on this Lord Longfellow. I'll judge the situation. If it's going bad, I'll yell something. You'll know what that is when you hear it.
Right. Okay. Did you manage to get into the mines or not?
No. They seem pretty adamant about keeping me out. So I'm gonna mention it during the meeting. I'm gonna ask about Silas.
All right.
And that'll sort of tie into the if things go bad or not.
Okay.
Well, Gilbert, all I know that I can pass on to you is that
Lord Longfellow is in fact noble from Serenity Falls. Just because any piece of information, as the good doctor likes to say, information is our best weapon or something like that.
Knowledge.
So he's part of a noble family from Serenity Falls. That's all I know.
Alrighty. Well,
Can I just give Gilbert bardic inspiration, even though we're not in combat? I can just give it to him.
It lasts 10 minutes out of combat.
is that a D6 or?
Yeah, it's a D6 to a D20 roll, but
I'm gonna go right up there and to Xander. It's because it's nighttime now, right?
While Gilbert is at his meeting, I think I can do the thing I know the most about and find the most information regarding our friend in the box.
Do you want to go by yourself, or you might get picked on?
Nazar, you were here earlier. Being seen with you would probably help improve my credentials.
All right. Well, he looks back at the two women, and then he looks at Roots. He's like, I don't know how comfortable I feel leaving these two with that one.
But Druzy, you were here.
I was here before. I can come with you.
Druzy will vouch for me.
All right.
And then he looks at Nazar, looks at the cat and the moth, and is like, yeah, it's probably for the best that you make sure that they don't get into anything.
This is what I'm thinking. Low profile.
Yes.
Low profile.
Low profile, you head into the medical tent.
Is there anyone in there?
Yeah, there is a doctor, it seems like, to be in here. And
Okay.
a couple patients. Most of the beds are empty. But there's a couple sleeping patients, and it seems a doctor at a desk.
Okay, so I would, with kind of Druzy with me, go up to the desk and kind of like get their attention.
Hello? May I help you?
Yes, this is a difficult question, but there's no one in the town of Seepridge.
Yes.
And that's not any of my business.
And he removes his glasses and he looks at you. Oh. Yes, that is the case. What is the problem with that?
There's no problem, doctor. My friend here is also a doctor, and he has an academic question.
Yes, thank you, Drusilla. I was briefly in correspondence with the doctor of the town and the prison, Ms. Hayfield, and I was hoping to speak with her about an affliction that seems to be spreading through the countryside. She is, I noticed, somewhat indisposed at the moment.
Yes, quite.
But I was wondering if you know anything about the man in the box at the prison.
Yes, I heard that he was perhaps bitey by nature. I don't know much else. I was sent a letter by the Lord Longfellow to come in only a few days ago that some of the workers needed help and that I was a trusted official for him to care for the wounded.
And by wounded, I'm assuming you mean the run-of-the-mill mining accidents. No one's turning blue and biting anyone, I assume.
Save for the one that I believe is in the box. did you say?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
he seems to be some sort of undead. Have you looked into that at all?
That's not my area of expertise in study. I'm a house physician normally, but just out here treating run-of-the-mill things. It's not my, I'm not into experimental work. That was...
Yes, of course. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry. What is your name? I don't think I didn't introduce myself.
Dr. Teals.
Thank you, and my name is Dr. Mack. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and thank you for all of your help.
Wonderful to meet you, Doc Mack.
And then I leave.
Okay.
Or can I, as I'm turning around and kind of casting a glance, do I notice any suspicious-looking patients? Anything that looks like what I have kind of seen before?
Make a medicine check with disadvantage.
A 10.
It seems like mining accidents from what you can tell. Okay. Is there anything else? The other group was looking for Silas, right?
I was going over to the tent to talk with.
Oh, okay. So
We were not looking for Silas. We were just kind of chilling.
okay.
Yeah.
Good enough.
I'm gonna follow Gil at a reasonable enough distance that people wouldn't think that we're together, just as backup.
Well, he is in the center of camp right now, or at the big tent. In order to be anywhere close to seeing him, you'd have to be either in the mess hall or the medicine tent.
Okay. I'll go to the mess hall.
Okay.
I'm immediately following because I'm not letting you go anywhere by yourself. And I hustle Roots along too. I'm like, let's go, we're moving. Come on.
I will cut to Gilbert. As you can kind of see out of the peripherals of your eyes that your gang, minus Loch and Druzy, who have slipped into the medicine tent, you can see that you have people at your back, waiting for your signal. As you approach Xander standing guard at the tent. You can also tell that there are lights coming from a couple of these tents now.
I'll approach Xander and say, we about ready for that meeting?
Yes. Let him know that you are here.
Sure.
He enters. A couple minutes pass, and he opens the tent flap for you, and he gestures for you to go in.
Sure. I'll head inside.
Okay. As you enter, it's a very spacious, round tent. It is very finely adorned, and it seems to have wood flooring. And there's a big bed, side tables, a big table with bunches of plans and papers, and it's a fully furnished room essentially in a tent. And in the center, you see in a high-back swivel chair that there is a man, a half-orc man, with slicked back black hair, graying in some areas. Decent, medium-sized, tusks, not really far out.
Yeah.
And you can see that you can see smoke kind of coming up as the room is filled with a sweet tobacco smell.
Mm.
And he has a highball glass. And he turns around and he goes, "Why, hello.
Evening.
Please, sit down.
Very much.
Would you like anything to drink?" Yeah.
Well, what do you have?
Only the finest.
I enjoy the language of liquor.
As do I. Please help yourself to the bar.
I do so.
And as you can tell, Xander has come to the inside of the door, and he's
Standing at the exit.
standing at the exit.
As expected.
So, Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
or do you prefer shotgun?
Shotgun was more of a name they called me while I was incarcerated.
Mm.
Perhaps Gilbert, Mr. Sullivan, whatever you prefer.
Gilbert. I'd like to save that for... I think I'll call you Gilbert.
By all means.
I believe we're going to be fast friends, Gilbert, so you may call me Lord Balthazar Longfellow, or Balthazar, or Longfellow if you care. Just don't call me highfalutin or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't.
So, Commander Clean tells me that you have some information on some magic stones in the earth. I must ask how you've become privy to knowledge of what we are searching for.
Well, I've sort of been blessed with that knowledge. We were recently in Fairbrook.
Mm.
We made a pilgrimage with the Druze from Tambu to Fairbrook.
Tree elves. Yes.
Right. We were attacked at Seepridge, not Seepridge, Fairbrook. By monsters, and as a reward for defense of Fairbrook, I was able to get the information that there were certain stones around that the Druids had been looking for.
Alright. And why would they share that information with you? Are you looking for them yourself?
Well, I have been looking for some more of them. I caught wind of one in Tan Butte.
In Tan Butte, you say?
Yes.
And you can see that he picks up a quill and he writes. After he sets his drink down, he writes something.
Yeah.
In Tan Butte. Have you had any luck then?
Can't say that I have. At least not anything that's certainly magical.
I need you to make a deception check.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration. 15.
Well, how unfortunate. I understand that there are eyes looking there. I did not realize, to no offense of your own, that information had trickled down to the masses.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. It's essentially I'm one of the only ones who know of it.
You kind of see that he straightens his ass out a little bit, and it's at this time you notice that there is an animal sleeping on his bed. You kind of notice that it's like a shimmery looking thing. You can't it's close, but you can see it's more metallic than anything.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, so these stones.
Yes.
Where in Tan Butte did you happen to hear about? Or what information did the elves give you?
Well, the elves, they told us about how there's a stone sort of correlated with each of the sisters.
There's rumored to be, yes.
Yeah, that's sort of what they told me. Whereas where I heard about this, we were leaving Tan Butte and we found all that information in relation to the Arsonwell Manor.
Oh, shit.
The Billows. Huh?
We found their estate on the edge of town, and, well, I'll be honest, we did some snooping. Once a criminal, always,
Oh, I don't blame you on that. You're somewhat, most of the time, the most honest people I work with.
We found some interesting things in that house.
I'm sure you have. The Billows are interesting people.
You know of them.
Indeed.
I'm curious. We found some interesting things, aside from this stone secret. We found some other interesting things. I'm curious if you know of those as well.
Depends.
Anything about, I'm going to lean in, sort of a weird child they left in stasis or something?
I knew that there was a family tragedy, but I do not know of a child in stasis, as you say.
I don't know if it was dead or it looked dead.
Well, that's odd. And he writes something down again.
Well, the reason we came out this way is we were actually looking for a young Silas.
Ghana.
I believe so.
What do you want with him?
We just heard, as we left Tambutte, and one of his relatives came up to us and said that he'd gone missing. Heard he came this way.
He left.
Can I insight that?
Yep.
20. Dirty 20.
He is lying.
Okay. That's it. I'm sorry to hear that. I must have missed him.
Indeed. He was an interesting young man. So sad that he could not join the ranks of the Beaconeers.
Yeah, I'd heard about you guys, the Beaconeers.
Oh?
Yeah, actually, there's a, well, it's not a big word around Tambutte, but we've caught whisperings of it in Fairbrook and on the road.
Hopefully all good things.
Yeah, nothing that would certainly make me disinclined to your...
Oh, that's where mayhem and destruction, chaos incarnate. Heathens for believing that we hold the power in of ourselves.
I hadn't heard that. I'm assuming you're used to that sort of argument.
They think us unrefined.
I sort of gesture to the entire room, and I say, well, clearly, that is very far from the truth.
Exactly. Well, Gilbert. May I call you Gil?
All my friends do.
Gil. I don't think you're telling the whole truth of your findings on how you know about certain stones. Xander, he nods to him, and he gestures to you, and Xander picks you up out of the chair and starts patting you down.
I'm gonna, as he's doing that, I'm gonna say, well, all right, you got me. You're twisting my arm here, but you got me.
And he stands up, and you can see that he's in like really fine clothes. Like he has like tails on his jacket and everything. And it's like a deep navy blue, and he has white gloves on. And he adjusts them, and he goes, as he holds his cigarette, please hand over the stone.
Well, about the stone. Are you familiar with a person who uses mechanized creatures?
What do you mean?
On our way to Seepridge, I've encountered creatures of a
mechanical nature that attempted to take the stone from me.
What kind? Do you mean? And he does a low whistle really quick, and he goes, "Pinsa." And from the bed, you hear cogs kind of turn and cling, and you see this mechanical hound stretch out on the bed and stand up.
Ah.
Is this the type of creature?
They look more like a person.
No, I don't dabble in humanoid structures. They bother me. But I'm assuming you mean the Temporiad.
I'd assume so. I was curious because they were also interested in the stone.
That is... You'll find when you carry items such as these, and Xander finds it in your pocket, and he hands it over to Longfellow. When you carry artifacts of this nature, you're going to find a lot of people want it. I think it's very careless of you just to slip it in your back pocket.
Yeah, I said that. I said that probably yesterday.
Well, Mr. Sullivan, thank you for giving me this stone. I've been searching for it for a long time.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out on all your favorite social media platforms at Ghostlight Dice. Special thanks to John Claudy for our theme, Wide Open Chaparral.